Hello, everyone, and welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder, your favorite true crime momcast. I am Rachel.
And I am Heather, and each week we bring you mom-related true crime from missing moms to murdered moms, moms who murder, survivors, and more.
Yes. If it is your first time here, hello. Hello to you. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day, your week, your life to check us out. Like Heather mentioned, we bring some heavy stuff. We bring some hard topics. We bring some amazing survivor stories. We do our best to be ethical and respectful in telling these cases. But you guys get a little bit of us and who we are for the first 5 to 10 minutes as well. And then as well as the good, the baddest, and the crime segments, which we need one of those pretty soon.
I was going to say, we're about due for one of those.
But seriously, you guys, if you're new here, welcome. We'd love if you continue to check us out, press the follow button, and keep coming back. And everyone who's here from the beginning, who continues, hey, what's up, guys?
We love our OGs.
Heather's doing the little, beat
tap,
on the
tap.
chest. You guys can't see it.
Tap.
I love it. Heather, how are you?
I'm surviving. It's a world out there. It's a world. And we're just doing the best we can. And but you know what? I will say something that's bringing me a little bit of happiness. I had a brilliant idea to set up a bird feeder right outside of the window. That you remember this, right? Because I was telling you,
yes,
no birds are coming to my bird feeder, and I just wanted to look out my window while I was working at my desk. I work from home, and be able to see some birds. And I have finally got a legit flock of birds who comes to this bird feeder every day, and it is so nice. It's very comforting and tranquil, and I feel as though I'm now a 50-year-old woman going, is that a red-breasted finch in front of me?
Yes, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. If I turn my camera to the side, I have a huge glass. It's glass doors right there, and the birds I feed, I put bird food on the balcony perimeter,
right?
And I just watch the birds as well. So welcome to that club. And it's funny that you were like, I told you, right? Yeah, because you were sending me pictures. Do you know what this bird is? And I'm like, no, I don't know what the birds are. I can tell you a cardinal, and the rest of them are birds. A cardinal, a blue jay, a partridge. No, I don't even know.
A partridge in a pear tree.
But I love that for you. I think that's a nice little piece of beauty that we need in these crazy days.
Agreed.
There is a cardinal right there as we speak.
That is crazy. We don't really get cardinals in this area.
No, you don't.
Yeah. But we do get California towhees.
Let's see if you can see it.
The light is all shiny. Oh, there we go.
Nope.
Oh, I saw it flutter. I did. I saw just a flutter of red wings. Aw, how cool.
I love that. I'm taking this out of our day to show you that. Okay, we are back, you guys. We are back. Okay, so we also need to take a time to give a warm welcome to our newest Patreon member, Rachel. Our newest
member. Your name.
Love your name. Not me, you guys. It's another amazing Rachel. Subscribed at our top tier and getting all of the bonuses, ad-free, early listening, and the support truly does mean everything to us. So thank you times a billion.
Yes, we appreciate that kind of support, and I feel like it's one of those really symbiotic relationships, because not only does becoming a Patreon member really help support the show, and when I say support the show, what I mean, in case you guys are wondering, is we might need new mics soon and we are not rich girls who can afford a nice mic. And mainly, I think what Rachel and I both really, really hope that the support that our listeners would be able to provide us, what we really want is to be able to go to events like CrimeCon and be able to use that as a platform to advocate for some of the cases that we cover. And I think that takes money, right? And it takes time, and we have the time, but sometimes we struggle. So just so you guys know, when you guys become a Patreon member or a Apple subscriber, that is what you're supporting. You're supporting the production of this, and you're supporting us being able to advocate for some of the families that we talk about on this show. So just so you know, that's where it's going. It's not going for shopping sprees or anything like that, unless you want to count Mike a shopping spree.
I was going to say the only shopping spree that would happen, because instantly I'm already like, okay, when we get 10 Patreon members, we're going to do a giveaway. So like if the money's going to go back to you guys.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like that's who I am as a person.
Always in a giveaway. She loves to do a giveaway.
I'm like, who can I give something to? Oh, yeah. And the stickers for you guys and the cards from us are on their way. They are in the mail. So there is that as well. Okay. One other thing before we get into today's case. One of our podcasting besties, Stephanie, it is her birthday around the time of this recording, not the exact same day, but happy freaking birthday to our beautiful friend, Stephanie.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We have had her on the show before. She is Wicked Ever After, and she covers some really, really great cases out of she's our Canadian sister.
Yes.
And she does a lot of really good local coverage, Canadian coverage, and she is really got some great messaging, does a great job. She's also on YouTube, so you can watch her on YouTube. And
her YouTube is her name.
Stephanie.
At Stephanie Morum, because she's a baddie and she's a brand all in herself.
Baddie.
Yeah.
And her baddie friends. So, yes, definitely check out Stephanie. And you know what? Happy birthday, babe. We love you, girl.
Yes. Yes, we do. We love you so, so, so much. Okay. You ready to get into this today, Heather?
I'm kind of a little not, actually, because just based on, I don't even know the name, but just based on the, 2 sentences you've told me about your reaction to this, I'm a little scared, to be honest.
You'll be ready.
Okay.
You've got this. I believe in you. Let's do it. Today, I am coming out swinging with a wild one for you guys. The outcome, we'll get there. This is a story of a mom's worst nightmare. This is where mom's worst nightmares are unlocked. So we're going to get into that. Today, I am telling you about the child abduction of Cleo Smith out of Western Australia back in 2021. So not very long ago at all. Do you know this name?
It sounds familiar, but now I'm
I think
really
that
scared.
it was very, very big at this time.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. So a family of 4 went to go camping in mid-October at the Blowholes campsite in McLeod, which is 50 miles or 80 kilometers. Just want to do both.
Thank you for that.
We're in the U.S., but, an Australia story from Carnarvon. Little did they know, after setting up and getting settled in, their world would be completely rocked come sunrise. This family was 2 children, 4-year-old Cleo and her younger sister, who we will call I, the girl's mother, Ellie Smith, then Jake Glidden, who was the father of the youngest daughter and stepfather to Cleo. They arrived to the campsite on October 15th, eager for a fun-filled weekend. In time, they all ended up zipped up in their sleeping bags, tucked away for the night. Around 1:30 in the morning, Cleo woke up thirsty and wanting some water, and her mother Ellie got up, got her some water before they both returned to sleep for a few more hours. Early on the morning of October 16th, the family woke up to the most gut-wrenching and heartbreaking sight. Cleo was nowhere to be seen. Not only was Cleo not tucked in where she had just been for hours, but her sleeping bag was also missing. They immediately get out calling for Cleo, looking for her, searching around their site. Then they call and report their 4-year-old daughter, Cleo Smith, missing. The panic sets in, the fear of what if, and the search begins. A search that I will say, Heather, seemed to do every single thing right, in my opinion, from the outside looking in. As I looked into Cleo's disappearance and found more and more, the things that I will be telling you about the investigation, the searches, the work that they put in, everything is what we could only dream of in every single missing child's case that we come across. Because I am not speaking for this family and how they felt during this. I am speaking from the place of we see and hear and talk about so many flaws and mistakes, or maybe not mistakes, but things that we think people should do differently. If we were, if we were on the force and calling the shots, this is how we would do it. It was just an amazing thing to see how much effort, thought, time, and work that was put in to this child. Back to Cleo. Or back to her parents, who are horrifically terrified at this point. From the moment the call was made, law enforcement took it seriously. The call to the station was made at 6:23 in the morning, and by 6:30, officers were on their way with sirens and lights on. A tent is set up as a forensic area. A drone operator is called in. More officers are called as backup. They send officers to their family home to be sure that she's not there. Helicopters are in the air. Volunteer marine searchers are called in. Roadblocks are set for anyone entering or leaving with their vehicles searched extensively. The parents are questioned, but they're also supported by a detective who came to be by their side. Homicide detectives from the Major Crime Division are called in from Perth, a nearby big city. And all of this, Heather, happened by noon that day.
Yes. Love to see that. That is the response anytime a parent says,
yes,
hey, like how many times have we covered a parent who said, hey, my kid is missing, and they go, oh, give it 48 hours. It doesn't matter the age of the child. It doesn't matter. Right. That should be the immediate response.
Absolutely. And that's why when I was reading this and listening to this and looking into this, when I saw all of those things, I'm like, we can't even get 2 of those things.
I know.
We can't even get them to even come out within 15 minutes. And let alone they had all of those things within just hours of them being called. It is so beautiful to see that and more that happens. So this area, or this campsite to begin with, it's called the Blowholes. It's absolutely stunning. I am going to share a picture on the screen for you right now so that you can see how beautiful this place is.
Oh my gosh.
So the campsite, you would drive in there, and there are some homes, if you see, there are some structures that people actually live down there as well. But you can camp down there. And when I say the blowholes,
okay,
yes. So I know you can't see that in the first picture, but there are. Yeah, so in this photo, you can actually see the water coming up from the blowhole that you couldn't see kind of like in the first picture. And it goes all the way. It's like a whole coastline, so it's pretty big, different areas to stay. Let me turn that off. It's just such a picturesque location and a very big tourist spot. So although this was a common place for nearby residents to go as well, people would come from all over the place to check off this kind of like bucket list destination to stay at. This travel hotspot turned taped off crime scene the morning of October 16th. The Blowholes camping area is in Western Australia and is in the Shire of Carnarvon. And Carnarvon in 2021 had a population of just under 5,000 residents.
Okay.
It was small, yet beautiful. So that brings me back to the beginning of the search efforts and all of the help and support that they called in immediately to help search for Cleo, right? So water search efforts, air search efforts, ground search efforts, local law enforcement, volunteers, and bringing in teams from out of town as well, like Perth. Perth, on the other hand, has a population of over 2 million.
Yeah.
2 million. So it's just one of those things that you see. You know, we talk about different departments and maybe they haven't had certain crimes that have happened there before. Maybe they're smaller and they haven't had to deal with this. This is what we need to see. We need to see people being called in that maybe have had this kind of training or experience or whatever it is.
Right. You said the major crimes, or did you say the homicide?
Yeah, the homicide.
Homicide division.
Yes.
Exactly. Because then you have seasoned detectives who understand, you know, who have worked a case, probably worked kidnapping, worked something like that, and they come in and they have the experience, and then you get like almost like the best of both worlds, because you get local law enforcement who are obviously more familiar with the terrain, with the area, with like the geography, with the residents in the area, and then you get the outside people who have the experience of working a case like this. That's exactly what you need.
Exactly. And it's not like they were very close, you know, they were hours away. I want to say like 9-10 hours away, but it was immediate. It was, you know, the efforts and decisions that were made were quick and something that just needs to be recognized. Searches were underway and they continued through the day, and even as that first day tragically came to an end with no answers and with no Cleo, efforts continued through the night with the Australian Maritime Safety Authority's jet doing nighttime patrol.
Wow.
Yes. The next day, October 17th, the search on land and in water continued, and Cleo's mother and stepfather speak out in an interview this day. They explain that Cleo was not one to wander off. So in their hearts, they felt that it had to be something more sinister than that. Ellie explains, the mother, she explains that even at the grocery store or when they were out, that Cleo was pretty much attached to her hip. So the thought of her wandering off in this deep, dark dead of the night wasn't plausible to her. And she pleads for help, saying, quote, "We need our little girl home," end quote. Over the next couple days, some things were released to the public, like images of her sleeping bag and the pink jumpsuit that she was wearing when she was last seen. I'm going to share a picture of her for you right now so that you know who we are talking about. And everyone who is listening, we do share pictures on our social media as well as on our YouTube. But this is Cleo. Little 4-year-old Cleo.
Oh, God.
Such a beautiful little blonde 4-year-old. She looks so happy, so spunky, so full of life. On October 20th, 4 days after she went missing, a chilling detail is made known. Cleo, who was only 4 years old, you saw her in the picture, could not have reached the zipper on the tent to have left on her own. As in every single investigation, you do have to look in every direction. And so although they were searching and looking everywhere, you know, there's water there, there's the blowholes, there's other campers. They did look at the parents. Right. And although I do believe this tight-knit little community where most of the people, you know, knew each other, at least knew of each other, outsiders were saying the parents had to have had something to do with it. Questioning, was Cleo even taken to the campsite? You know, was she even there at all whatsoever? Did these parents have something to do with this disappearance since they were the last one to see her? Well, the next day, CCTV audio from a resident nearby where Cleo's family tent was did confirm that Cleo was indeed at the campsite on the 15th and into the early morning hours of the 16th. So they were able to release audio that she was indeed there. And on this day, on October 21st, A $1 million reward is offered for any information that helps police to find Cleo.
Wow.
Wow is right.
We
have families out here that are, trying to start GoFundMes to earn anything to try to find their children. And to me, it seems clear that this doesn't change anything. It's just a more heartbreaking realization, I guess, as I say this out loud, because I hate that I'm saying this, but it's more common out here.
Yeah.
If we put up $1 million for every single child that went missing out here, it's just crazy.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, is because I feel like and again, it's something that I wish I hate that I'm saying it, but like, if you got the response that Cleo got for the missing children that go missing here, less people would do it because more people would get caught.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think it's tragic that, like you said, people are doing GoFundMes just to try to get a drone search, which was something that was offered immediately within hours.
Yes.
And done to this family. And so it's so tragic that and it's horrible to compare, right? And like, there's reasons and different things, and we've talked about stories where communities have come together and done everything they can for, a missing person, a missing child, a missing mom. But we've covered, unfortunately, so many cases where that is not the case.
Right. So. And it just continues, like what they do and the things that they put their efforts and I don't want to, I'm not trying to sit here and bash, so many investigations, because I know a lot happens. I know a lot is put into things, but just when you hear it and you see this one, it's just,
so clearly, even if we're just talking about our own personal, like thoughts on this, we've covered a lot of cases in America. We've talked about missing children. We've talked about this, and we are both like, wow, oh my gosh, look at the response. So I think that just in and of itself is showing you the difference, right? Yeah, that this is, to us, this is like, whoa. So I think that just speaks to, the differences.
Yep. It sure does. And over the next few days, things continue. They end up looking into all of the local sex offenders in the area. They try to get any and all CCTV footage, and they had a forensic unit at the site dusting for fingerprints. This is all within the first week and a half of her going missing. Which is exactly what it needs to be. October 24th, a tip comes in. That is a breakthrough in the case. A vehicle was spotted leaving the Blowholes campsite. The details were scarce, though, so a couple was on their way to work in the early morning hours of October 16th, and they remember seeing a vehicle turning out of the camp area and going south. But it was dark. It was between the hours of 3 and 3:30 a.m., and so these witnesses explain that they just saw the headlights and that it was a passenger car, like a sedan, nothing else.
But it fits the timeline, right? Because she woke up with her mom to get water at 1.
Right. And
then her parents woke up and the police were called by 6:30. So that fits within the timeline.
It does.
Okay.
And
it is kind of weird, like a campsite, someone's leaving at 3:30 in the morning, pitch dark.
It is very weird. But at this point, they're searching the area, they're searching the water, they're searching the location around, and they're not finding things that maybe you would find if a child wandered off.
Right.
And so
they're not finding her sleeping bag, down this way. They're not. Yeah.
One thing that was found as a detail of possible evidence was a shoe print near the campsite. Now, finding a shoe print is amazing, as it gives them something to work with. What they did next was work. They ended up finding anyone that was at the campsite and doing searches into their shoes, but they also, Heather, did phone pings from nearby towers and started a list of all of the phones that pinged in this area at this time to one by one go and speak to them and check their shoes.
Yup. Yes. Like a criminal Cinderella. Fucking
Seriously.
checking everyone's
Criminal
shoes.
Cinderella.
That's
Absolutely.
what we're doing.
Yes. In an interview that I listened to, so there is a podcast that does it's like a full long form podcast. It has, I want to say, about 10 episodes on Cleo's disappearance. And I highly recommend it. It'll be in the show notes. It's called My Name is Cleo. One lady was questioned, and she said that she felt it was more of an interrogation than anything.
Good. And?
Exactly. But I'm like, good, because it shows to me the care, the dedication, the commitment that these officials had while searching.
Hell yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And if you take that any other way than
good,
hell yeah to what they are doing, you're insane.
Exactly. Like if a cop showed up to me and was like, your phone pinged in this area where a child went missing, and they're like hell yeah, do that, because if my child was to go missing, that's how I want you to like do the same thing to everybody else.
Yes. Yep. So at this time, with everything, the car, the shoe print, not finding any sign of her, this really gives the investigators and everyone the eerie thought that Cleo was taken. And on October 25th, Cleo's parents do another interview where Cleo's mom, Ellie, says, quote, "Just bring our girl home safe. Give her back to us," end quote. The next few days, more searches are done at the family residence in Carnarvon. Many tips had came in of sightings, but none of them ended up being more than a lead that was looked into and it, being debunked that it was not Cleo. And they express how the sightings had been made, right, or reported nationally, because Cleo's disappearance was known worldwide at this point, and everyone was searching for this beautiful blonde 4-year-old girl, and every tip that came in was looked into, and law enforcement agencies were all working together through this time. Drones were used to create a detailed map of the area that Cleo was last seen at as they continue looking for clues. Any clues of direction, possible suspects, anything. Day 15 of searching for Cleo, Premier McGowan tells people on the internet to back off of Cleo's parents and that they are not suspects in Cleo's disappearance and that they have been helpful through the 2 weeks that have passed at this point. Days 16 and 17, people are still searching, racking their brains for anything and everything. And on day 18 at 12:45 a.m., And on day 18 at 12:45 a.m., police officers break into a home in Carnarvon and find 4-year-old Cleo in a room alive.
Oh, fuck.
Alive. The detective who walked in, Senior Sergeant Cameron Blaine, introduced himself to the little girl and asked her name, and she said, "My name is Cleo." And I'm going to play that audio for you right now.
Why? Why are you doing this to me? Oh.
Okay. Because it's happy.
I know, but also, like, fuck. Imagining her mom, like, at that moment you're just so, like, obviously, like, relieved, but then so proud of your little girl for being able to be like, my name's Cleo, because, like, we hear about these things where these people, these fucking pieces of trash, like, take these young children and tell them, like, your name's not Cleo, your name's whatever.
Right.
And so, like, as a mom, you would probably just be so proud of your daughter for I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's officially announced at 4 a.m. that Cleo was found and was shortly reunited with her family.
And what day was this?
The 18th day.
18th day. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It was November 3rd.
Longest fucking 18 days of the whole life. Jesus.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to try to say this without crying, but the Western Australia Police Deputy Commissioner said that he watched his team, his experienced detectives, openly crying aloud with relief and saying things like, quote, "We were literally looking for a needle in a haystack and we found it," end quote.
But this is exactly why, like, you don't give up and you go all fucking in. They went all fucking in.
Yes,
they did not stop pushing. They did not stop going. And look at the outcome.
Yeah.
This is why you do this. This is why those first hours are so important. This is why you need to fucking swarm on it. You need to do those. You need to interrogate those people. You need to go after it. Because you can find that fucking needle.
Right. Yeah. And I have another quote for that. So I wanted to add this quote to wrap up this portion before I get into the reuniting of Cleo and her family and where they are today. One of the state police ministers praised his investigators and said, quote, "Cleo's rescue wasn't the result of an accidental sighting or a suspicious event. It was the result of hard police grind," end quote.
Yes, exactly. Obviously. Like, look at what they did.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's amazing.
Cleo was reunited with her family, and her mother the next day posted a photo of Cleo on Instagram with the caption of, "Our family is whole again." I cannot say every other sentence. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, you guys.
I'm crying the whole time.
There has been some updates on Cleo and her family, and for the most part, they try to, keep to themselves, but there is an update, and it's a picture of Cleo holding a cupcake with a big number 7 on it, and it says, "Cleo Smith, all grown up." The 7-year-old girl is enjoying life in Western Australia, loving school, and being a big sister to I. It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. This beautiful young girl in a story of 18 days of pure terror, but a happy outcome with being reunited as a family. Now, I like to separate the survivors or victims from their abusers. And in this case, I wanted to do the same. So there is a part 2. It is short and it's to the point. I'm not going to make you guys wait for it whatsoever. It is available right now on the man guilty of abducting Cleo, his sentencing, and where things stand today. All right, you guys, sorry you had to sit through those tears. I feel like not that we're not emotional when we talk about other cases, and we're always hopeful and want to share the information for missing cases and unsolved cases and stuff like that, but there is something about a survivor, about a reuniting of a family that will never make me okay.
Yeah. Well,
okay enough to say it as a strong individual, because I'm just not one, and I'm gonna cry the whole time.
I mean, we cry all the time. But I think the other thing is, like you said, I didn't even know this was a survivor story when you first talked about it, which is just, beyond amazing. But the other thing is, both of us have young daughters. So right. I think that these cases really get to us because you've talked about it before, a situation where that's literally a mom's worst nightmare is right. Not like being like, where the fuck is my kid? So it really hits us deep, I think, especially when because we have that connection of being a mom to young daughters.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, you guys, we're going to go talk some shit. We will see you in part 2. Okay, love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.